For this activity, we are going to be using a mixture of the straight slot and the center point arcing slot. Okay, you can also see here that we have construction lines drawn in. So this might be the first time that you use construction lines. Maybe you've been using them the entire time, but they are very easy to use and very friendly to help yourself build a drawing. So I'm going to pull this to the side. And in SolidWorks, we want to go up to New Part, and OK. And we want to change this to MMGS. Then I'm going to be on my Sketch tab, select Sketch and Front Plane. And we can see from our activity that we are going to be using a straight slot. Go ahead and get your straight slot. Over here on the left, you want to make sure that Add Dimensions is not checked. For some odd reason, when that is checked, it puts dimensions onto your slot and you can't edit those. You actually have to delete them and then redimension the slot. So I just never have this thing selected. Okay. The first one starts right at the center point of this circle, moves out to the right and clicks and goes up. Okay, I'm going to readjust my screen here. So notice that I made this a horizontal line. So I'm going to hit the green check. If that is not horizontal, you need to make sure that that construction line is. So you can click it and select horizontal. Okay. Then I'm going to get my dimension tool, and I'm going to dimension the outside curve here, which has a radius of 22. And then the construction line in the middle has a length of 152. So you notice it made both sides black or fully defined. Okay, I can then draw my circles on the inside of these. So from your construction line, there's a circle here, and from the other endpoint, there's a circle there. Those circles have a diameter of 16. So you can either set them to equal, or you can just dimension both of those. I think since I have my dimension tool already selected, it's just as easy to go ahead and dimension those. Okay. So now the top part is all done. I'm going to move up, get my line tool. And to make a construction line, down here where it says options, we want to check the box that says for construction. And I'm going to be making two of those. So I'm going to click on my origin and just move down here somewhere and click. You can hit escape on your keyboard to get off of your construction line. Then go back up, get it again. Select the origin and make another one down here. Okay, and hit escape. Now I have two construction lines. So you'll have to look real close because I know the picture is not the greatest. But if you get the dimension tool and look close in here, it actually says 15 degrees in between the two of these. So you're going to select the slots construction line, that horizontal one, and then the first one that you just drew, and then we're going to make that 15 degrees. Then from the second construction line, the first one you drew, to your second one, that is 45 degrees. Okay. So everything still should be fully defined. Everything should be black except for these two blue endpoints, and that is fine. Hit the green check to get off your dimension tool. And next we are going to go up and get the center point arc slot. Center point arc slot. And our center point is actually the origin. So I'm going to select the origin and move my mouse out on my construction line, and I'll click on my construction line and move my mouse over. Now you notice for some reason SolidWorks is glitching right now and thinks I'm going to make a complete circle for this slot. Just move your mouse around a little bit until it kind of fixes what you need it to do. But you can see mine is not really cooperating. There we go. So you just move it around a couple times, and where you want to stop this is on the other construction line. Then you can move your mouse out and click. We're going to do the exact same thing again to make the inside one. So select the center or your origin. Then you're going to go over here and select the center of the other slot and the end of that other slot. So make one bigger, one smaller. Okay. Let's get our dimension tool, and we'll start with the outside one. So the outside radius here is 20. The inside radius is 8. So this other curved one on the inside is 8. And then the distance away is actually this construction line. So this is an arc, keep that in mind. So the distance away, if you select that construction line, it has a radius of 98. Notice that's going to push it in or out. So your drawing is going to change much more than mine will, unless you drew it very close to mine. Okay, so I had mine almost identically at the spot that it needed to be. Okay, now from here, this part is very, very annoying. We are going to trim, but anytime you trim slots, for some odd reason, SolidWorks deletes all of the tangents. So we're going to have to trim, then go back in and fix a whole bunch of tangents. Like this is technically tangent right now, but it doesn't say that it is. So we need to trim. Go up and get the Trim Entities tool. Make sure it is set to Trim to Closest. And let's zoom in on this area right here. And it's going to give you a whole bunch of warnings. So every time it does, just press OK. First thing that you are going to trim is the top of this big arcing slot. There's our warning. Hit OK. Do not trim the inside one. Okay. We want to trim this little tiny piece here. We also want to trim this line. And then this one. And then that one. So basically it's cutting that across. You can kind of see the shape now. Okay, and it looks the exact same as what it does on the activity. Other than we have to add in some fillets in here that we'll do later. You get off your trim, you can either hit the escape or the green check, and then the whole way around here, around your slot, it needs to be tangent. So just start at one of them, make sure you set it to tangent. Click on the dot, hit tangent. If that does not pop up for you, you're going to have to select one line, hold in shift, and select the other one. And then this tangent will over here. Once again, it makes no sense why it doesn't pop up. So select the arc, hold in shift, select the line, and we want it to be tangent. Same thing down here. So the whole way around the outside, even this bottom one, it deleted it. Make that tangent. And over here, make that tangent. So it should bring your whole outside back to black, except right in here. And that's because SolidWorks has no clue what we want to happen. So we want this line to be a horizontal line. You can set that to horizontal. That one should be black. And the only thing that's still blue is over here. So let's complete the easy fillet first. That's this one. So we'll get our fillet tool. We're going to set that to a radius of 20. And that's simply done by clicking on that dot. Hit the green check and get off your fillet tool. Now, you might say, well, why can't we fillet this? Since this is curving back and there's a point there and a point here, SolidWorks does not like to add in a fillet that goes past that point. Okay, it doesn't. So what we can do here is a little bit different than adding in a fillet. We're going to actually create our own curve in here. So you can do this two different ways. I'm going to demonstrate the first way, and then I'll delete it and I'll show it to you again. So you can just watch and then decide which one you want to do. You could use the perimeter circle, just like when we first learned this. Click on this line, click on another one, and move your mouse out here. And you can see as long as you move out past that dot, way out here, it connects to this part of the line, which then would allow me to trim, 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 and trim. Okay, now it's tangent and tangent, and we can dimension this. So that's one way you could do it. I actually think that way is pretty nice and easy to do. Another way you could do this is by using a 3-point arc. And you can click here, move your mouse down onto this line and up. And then you'll have to trim all the way around once again. But the difference is this one doesn't make this tangent. Last one did. So you'd have to select that, make a tangent, make this tangent, and then go ahead and dimension. So I actually like the perimeter circle, but you could do either one. And this has a radius of 32. So that'll readjust if this messed anything up over there. So that should make everything fully defined. Now, if you're going to say, well, why is this still saying underdefined? It's not from the construction lines. It's actually from this little dot right here. Click and hold down on that dot, move it out to the side, and then back into that little yellow dot. And when it snaps into place, it's going to add a little midpoint. And we need to do the same thing down here. Even though this is not blue, we still need to move it. So click and hold here, move out to the side, back into that same spot, and now it changes it to fully defined. So you might be saying, well, how was I supposed to guess that? You don't, okay? I wouldn't give you something like this on a test. And if you did, I would look through every single individual one of your sketches and try to figure that out. So if you're ever stuck on a test and you're like, hey, this is supposed to be fully defined and everything's black, please come and get me, okay? Raise your hand, get me, because that's just a trick. I don't even understand why SolidWorks does that. So back off of my tangent here. This is now fully defined. Let's go to the Features tab. Let's hit Extrude. Your material thickness is 25, and it shows that it has a positive Z. So we need to come forward. We'll hit the green check. Let's change your material to 1060 alloy, which is a default. Go to Evaluate and Mass Properties, and we should get 719.18. Okay, if you got that, then you are ready to save this as the assignment name and number. If you did not get that, go back in, edit your sketch or edit your extrusion until you get that complete. Okay,